It's time. Oh, look at that map. Still virgining.
Yeah,
Getting there. Getting there.
still gotta,
Sweet, sweet baby times.
still gotta find the flower.
Oh, yes. Luckily, we're back here. Once again, this was in the beginnings of meeting Blythe for the first time, so I was still... Like, I heard him howling, and if you hear him howling, it can trigger this dialogue
Yeah,
with Kale.
yeah.
Santa Kale.
Yeah, that's the thing that's funny is I've always called him that. It's like I know his name's Kale. It's pronounced Kale. I always just call him Kale though. Is I'm like, hey, it's Kale.
Yeah, but it's not Kyle McLaughlin, because that's Kyle McLaughlin's name to David Lynch.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's because David Lynch met Kyle MacLachlan when he'd filmed Dune. And so he always shortened his character name to Kale and just called him Kale. Ever since then, he's always called him Kale. I kind of do that too, where I just give people nonsensical nicknames sometimes.
Yeah, it's just the really weird thing is that.
Oh, here's the Third Church of America as well.
Oh yeah, I already found it.
Yeah, first time though.
Yeah.
So the main thing for anyone who hasn't played this game. Oh, also look at that! Look at that thing I have on me. This is slightly filmed out of sync. Whoopsie doopsies. I got my great epi and I have a blood augment on it. Whoop whoop whoop. Anyway, go to the Third Church of America. Get your flask of wondrous physic. Get it as soon as you can.
Yes.
Makes your life easier.
Yes, it's very nice. You can do so many different things in terms of building with it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a thing I was going to show you, and I think I tried it out because there was a video I watched where a guy actually turned himself into a holy suicide bomber.
Oh yeah, with the explosion one.
Yeah, you just have to stack it, but that was back before they patched the game to where Royal Knight's Resolve would affect spells.
Yeah, and so it would just make you a super bombastic boy, huh?
Like, you could do 17,000 damage by suicide bombing.
Pretty good, but Blasphemous at my scaling right now does that.
I know, I'm just saying, like, that's with stacking, that was with, I don't think what it was. It was I think it was with Golden Vow, Commander O'Neill's
Banner.
And I think that was it, along with Royal Knight's Resolve and having to drink the flask, and you have 3 seconds before you explode.
Mm-hmm.
But that was before they patched it, because I tried it out without Royal Knight's Resolve on. It was definitely not worth it.
Yep, I can do that now as minimum damage with the weapon art for Blasphemous Blade.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah, my Gutty Sword is Gutty Sword.
Yeah.
But this is the beginnings of me liking rapiers again.
Yeah.
Oh, I've always liked rapiers since Dark Souls 2, but they've never been truly good since then. But the Great Epi, boy oh boy, does that do stuff for me.
Yeah, it's usually your main weapon if it's not the Blasphemous Blade.
Yeah, because it's got the reach, it has a slower version of the Estox moveset with its one-handed charged R2s. The heavy attacks are sweeps.
Yeah.
And it has a very, very high proc rate considering it's a great sword for thrusting weapons.
Yeah, honestly, there's 2 thrusting weapons that I actually really, really like in terms of, like, the rapier moveset, kind of, and that is the S-Stock, and the other one is the Lance. I really want to like the Lance.
It's too slow for me, but I can see how you'd like it. The reach is fine, though.
Yeah, I just also like the idea of cosplaying as just fucking Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins.
Mm-hmm. The Tree Spear is the equivalent for that weapon type that I like. The Tree Spear, when you level it up, it scales very well with Faith, and its weapon art is Golden Vow. So you end up saving a spell slot by just using it with the weapon.
Yeah. But ultimately my favorite weapon for the most part, if it's not the Moonlight Greatsword, my favorite weapon in the game is, so far at least for me, is probably the Claymore.
Yeah.
Simply because it's a greatsword, so the R1 is the standard greatsword moveset slashing, but then the R2 is a thrust.
Right.
So I like that reach.
Well, it's a pretty traditional vanilla weapon, and, you know, the thing about that is it's reliable.
Yeah,
You can always count on a Claymore. That's what I used for a while, too.
Yeah, I like the Claymore. I like how it looks. I like the moveset. The only thing that sucks is that that's one of the few weapons I don't have an Ancient Dragon Stone to upgrade. And now that I'm in, New Game Plus, I still haven't found any Ancient Dragon Stones, and I'm not going to because I haven't even gotten to the capital yet.
Yeah, it takes a little while, though. The soonest one you can get it is if you, yeah, I suppose technically you could do Sellen's side quest and then kill her. That would probably be the earliest you could do for an Ancient Dragonstone. Otherwise, yeah, it's all late game.
I never was able to finish that quest. Like, in my first run, I became her apprentice, and that was pretty much it. Like, I never did anything other than that, and nothing else ever triggered.
You have to periodically check in with her. She'll scale with your intelligence. If you didn't talk to her after you leveled for the Moonlight, it could be that you just weren't smart enough. Because I noticed she was like that for me. It took a little bit for me to get smart because this is the only game where the sorcery merchant will actively still teach you despite you not having the require. Like, you get a special dialogue if you talk to her where she's like, you know what? I'll give you a shot, boy. You look like you only hit rocks together, but, you know, I think one day you'll invent.
There's a chance for
That
an
bear
idiot.
was deposing.
Oh, Jesus. There's a chance for an idiot like you to learn.
Yeah, that's what she does. She'll take a chance.
Which is funny because that's exactly what she did for me the first time.
Because you didn't have enough intelligence.
Nope, did not.
It's alright, me neither.
Oh well.
But we all learned.
Joke's on you, I'm married to a doll.
Alarming.
Oh, gosh.
Gosh. Did you put the doll in the jar?
I'm still wondering if this game does get DLC. It would have to... I'm wondering if it's going to do anything involving Melina.
Yeah, she should be a boss fight, I think. She has a moveset and spells we can't do.
And that the fact that the one ending you can get in the game is directly involves her.
Yeet. Yes, Kenneth.
Yeah, Kenneth. Asshole.
But yeah, I think it's more impossible they'll recycle her moveset at least into a character that'll use it.
I'm also wondering if they'll... I'm thinking there will be DLC for this game, if not maybe 2 bits of DLC. And I simply say that because I don't think they'll make a sequel. Because of how... But because of the endings...
I actually have some news about that.
What you do?
Yeah. They're actually planning on merchandising it.
Merchandising?
Like, aside from shirts and miniatures and figurines, like, they're making it a franchise.
Oh.
Like, there's going to be more media options in the Elden Ring universe.
Oh.
Because of Georgie Boy.
Hey, I'd be kind of okay with that.
Yeah, so it may not inherently come in game format, but from what I was reading in an internet article, I think it was released by Destructo. Yeah, they're going to be expanding the universe in other mediums.
Okay, that's fine.
So there might be more to it yet, to be determined.
There's only one thing, honestly, there's only 2 things I want resolved, and one thing I don't want resolved because I like the idea of discussion. The things I do want resolved is obviously stuff I want to know. I want to know a little bit more about Melania. Or Melina. Yeah, I want to know more about Melania too. She's in school, but I like Melina. Just because of the whole thing with her and that eye, the fact that she's your finger maiden comes out of nowhere. Even though she's not traditionally a finger maiden, she just offers you the ability to use runes to level up. She's not actually a finger maiden. So I want to know more about her. The fact that I personally think she's connected to Ronnie somehow, because if you look at Ronnie, even though Ronnie's a doll and you got her that astral spirit next to Ronnie's one side of her face, that makes it look like her left eye is the eye that's fucked up, but on the doll it's the right eye that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Melina has the exact same thing. So I'm wondering if they're connected in some way. So that's a theory, but that's something I kind of want resolved. I want that. Well, that necessarily itself doesn't have to be resolved, but definitely her impact on the ending and maybe a continuation after the game. I would like just because of that ending. I want that to be explored a little bit more. Um, the other thing would be I want more concrete stuff about Radagon.
Yeah, yeah,
I,
you
I,
do. Yeah,
I
you
want
do.
I want more concrete shit about Radagon. However, but tying into that, like where exactly he came from, because we only know very basic things. Like we know he was a champion of the Golden Order. We know he was part of the fight. We know he was part of the war against the Ray Lucaria Academy. That's how he fought Renala, and that's pretty much a good bulk of his background that we know of. But I want to know a little bit more about like his background before he was part of the Golden Order.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop you for just a second because I want to backpedal on some ideas for you, just for food for thought.
Hmm.
Okay, so when you go to meet Ronnie past the Karian Manor, do you remember the name of that region that dragon touches down at, where her towers are?
Are you talking about the last area at the end of her quest?
Like the area that you meet her to begin her quest after you beat, what's her name? Loretta.
Oh, okay, yeah, where the Three Sisters Towers are.
Yeah,
Okay.
Three Sisters.
Yeah.
You notice how two of them are named?
Yeah, and then
Ronnie and Rena.
yeah, and Ronnie lied and called herself
Rena.
Rena at one point. So you're thinking Ronnie, Rena, and probably
Rena, Melina. It rhymes.
Yeah, and that would make sense with the whole eye thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
So I'm thinking there might be some sister's business there. So the one that really doesn't fit into it is Sevelis. Not sure what's going on with Day Raid Drug Man.
don't know.
But it'll come up later anyway. But yeah, just give the elixir to the Dung Eater. He deserves it.
Yeah. I'm thinking you might be right about that with Melina, simply because Ronnie knows about Torrent and Melina is the one that gives you Torrent.
Mm. And Torrent is wind-based and has his own magical aura when he double jumps blue.
Yeah, so there's a chance they could somehow be related, which I mean, I kind of like that. Right. It would just be nice if we had like a concrete explanation if that's what it was.
Mm-hmm. It kind of makes sense theme-wise because when you have her as a summon later, she's clerical. She does healing spells over time by literally making a manifestation of the Earth Tree. And if there's one thing the Souls games love doing is making magic and incantations to make holy and sorcery super parallel. Like, we didn't go into this enough when I did the remake of Demon Souls, but the armor you get at the end of the game, that's the highest like level armor for clerics, is the same as the sorcery armor. It's just a different color. They're literally the same armor sets. One of them's just dirtier.
Oh, geez.
And the other one is a cleric's.
Yeah.
So, just the parallels between them make me go, oh yeah, they just chose a different path. It's sort of like the sun and the moon meeting of Renala and Radagon.
Yeah.
Now you can segue back into Radagon.
Right.
Because you have got a serious boner for thinking he's Pontiff Sullivan.
Yeah, well, yeah, because of certain things that I've read from the item descriptions, other people's discussions, I think Radagon is actually the true villain.
Okay.
But that's my take on it. But that's why I'm saying I want answers. Like, if I'm wrong, I don't care if I'm wrong. But
but that's not my problem with it, Brandon. It's just this is a game co-developed by George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, so almost everyone can be evil.
No, you see, you're still thinking in black and white. You're not just thinking who's more selfish than the other person. This is a gaggle of people with various moral levels, and it's not just black and white. We don't have Solaire anymore. I wish we did. I kind of miss the Buckethead because he kept things simple. But when it comes down to it, it's just a matter of how selfish is everyone going to be. Do you think that a mother could send a bunch of assassins to murder one of her firstborn? Obviously good.
Yeah, and that actually, like I said, I want to know more about Radagon's past and a little bit about who he is. Like, we don't know much about America, but we actually know more about America than we do Radagon.
Mm-hmm. Which is a good point.
Right. So it would be kind of nice if they were on even playing fields. The only thing I don't want, like, I would love more concrete stuff again about Radagon and about the whole thing at the end of the game, which I'm not going to mention, but still, I would like more concrete information on that. The only thing I don't want explained for discussion purposes was America's intent.
Yeah, that is kind of ambivalent.
Yeah, I don't want America's intent to be labeled. I don't want America's intent to be 100% rooted in concrete in concrete answers. I want that to be a little bit. I want that to be left open like it is now because that's a huge discussion point.
Yeah, it kind of creates the Gwen problem if you examine it too much. Because then things just start spiraling. Like, it took Dark Souls 2 being convoluted for us to get the idea of Gwen tying the dark soul of man to the bonfire. Otherwise, you just have chosen undead in Destiny. Like, it's not remotely implied that at all in Dark Souls 1. It's something that retroactively can make sense, but then you start wondering why he would establish a gulag city prison for the Dark Soul.
Yeah,
and why he would have a girl sleep with an egg.
Yeah, and then you have the pig, and then you have the fact that he gave the pygmy like instead of making the instead of like banishing the pygmies and treating them like dirt, no, he gave them lordship and he made them have their own city. And he put Filianor there. It's like, all right, well, you have one of my daughters. I gave you titles. You have your own city.
Don't leave.
Don't leave. Here's
barbed wire up. Walls up.
Yeah, here's the dark soul of man. Here you go.
Also, sidebar: this is before the patch, so this is where Kenneth Hoyt's questline will end for this playthrough.
Oh, okay.
Yep, this is before they fixed him and Nefeli Lu, because this is also a weird thing that began with this game, is patched quest lines. Yep, instead of going nowhere like it did, like here. At the end of this quest line, you can also have Nefeli Lu do some things, and then you can get 2 Ancient Dragon Smithing Stones out of the deal. One for free, the other one for 20,000. But yeah, it's kind of fucked. Anyway, say hi, Kenneth. Bye, Kenneth.
The fact that his name is Kenneth at all, I thought was hilarious because when I first met him, I was like, "Oh, this guy looks like Kenneth Branagh." And it turns out his name is fucking Kenneth anyway.
Yep,
and I'm
Kenneth
like,
Hoyt.
And I'm like, I'm wondering if he was supposed to be a joke on Kenneth Branagh because he has short hair, he's blonde, he's got that kind of, he's got like that, he's like a noble in charge of the castle and stuff like that. I'm wondering if he's supposed to be at least influenced by Kenneth Branagh.
Don't know. I'd have to look up the meaning of the word Hoyt because they would probably throw that in there. It's sort of like lap and patches.
Yeah.
For those who might not know, lap is the Danish word for patches.
I think it's Swedish.
I think it's Nordic.
The point is it means patches.
Yeah.
Or patch, or still.
Yeah, it's literally patches.
Yeah.
Who also got his questline fixed in a recent patch.
Ironic.
Untethered patches.
Yeah. And then I killed him and took his clothes.
Yeah. It does make it a lot easier after you do it the first time.
Yeah. And I actually do like his clothes.
Yeah. Decent armor.
I think it looks cool. Especially, mainly the chest piece.
It's more green than I was expecting. Patches has historically always worn black leather for the longest time.
Yeah, it's black with like brown straps or accents.
Yeah, he
usually.
always wears hard leather.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the typical spear and great shield combo.
Yeah, that's always been a thing.
Everything.
And then you have fucking patches.
Patches?
Yeah, and then you have you got spider patches where he just has legs.
Do you know if he was in Sekiro? I don't remember him being in it.
I think it's been confirmed that he was not. Sekiro kind of broke the rule for From Software, where the Moonlight Greatsword was not a weapon in the game and patches was not in the game. So,
Well, that's Activision for you.
yeah. But then again, we don't know if Sekiro was Sekiro might have been just Miyazaki wanting to do something just a little bit different. Just wanted to break the mold, probably a little.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Because, I mean, he was dealing with mythology from his own homeland, so...
Yeah, but, I mean, they kind of do that anyway. It's sort of like how in JoJo Part 5, there's a character with a phobia with the number 4, but he's Italian.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, can I talk about how much I fucking love these guys?
Oh yeah, the Bloodhound Knights. They're rad as shit.
I fucking love them. There's actually one I didn't know was in the game.
Yeah, which one?
There's one that's actually in the game that's, he's in Caelid. He's actually in a building guarding an item.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was there my first time around because I never went to that building before. So that means because there's this one, there's that one, there's the one underground, and then there's your spirit. So that's the 4.
There's also one in Ray Lucaria.
Wow. Wait, there is?
Yep, he's right behind the merchant. Remember, didn't expect merchant? If you keep running to the gate that's past him, one will drop down off the wall and try and kill you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I actually love these guys because they're a spiritual successor to the random assassin enemies in Dark Souls 2. There's one in Dark Souls 2 with the claws, and some of them have a sword, and they're designed to look like guts in the Berserker armor, which kind of fits these guys because they're Bloodhound Knights.
Yeah.
If you keep the dog wolf motif, they're still just kind of continuing the same idea, but now they look less obviously berserky.
I'll have to read their armor when I go back to play it because I could have sworn they said there were only 4 Bloodhound Knights.
I don't think that's so, but I believe they're listed as traveling mercenaries because not all of them will find that.
Yeah, because I
They're
don't.
stray dogs.
Right, because that ashed one that you get as a summon, that one didn't ever found its master and it just died.
Mm.
Because it says in the description that it would only serve a true king, which is hilarious considering the fact that you get the ash.
Right, because you are the Elden Lord.
Yeah.
You will be.
Which is kind of funny because when I was listening very, very carefully to the dialogue from the Finger Maiden when she was talking to the fingers,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of funny. It makes me wonder when Marika was imprisoned in the Erd Tree that if the 2 fingers had to have been killed off and not known before Marika was in prison because the 2 fingers to the finger crone straight up says, "Alright, you're worthy to become the Elden Lord. Go and seek an audience with Queen Marika. She's imprisoned inside the Erd Tree and see if you can become her consort and the next Elden Lord and restore the order." I'm wondering if they know she's being, like, I wonder if the 2 fingers, I'm wondering if they know that she's even more or less crucified.
I think they do, Brandon. Only because those fingers communicate directly with the greater will, and it takes them a while. What those fingers do is they evangelize for the greater will. They're going to tell you everything you need to know, but not everything you need to know. So when they tell you to go to become the new consort, it's more like, alright, that battery in our fun toy, it's dying.
Yeah.
You look pretty good. You look like a psyker we could throw into that Ordo Sinister Dreadnought. We'll just point you in the general direction and make sure that when you land, you hit the dartboard on the target. Oh, by the way, here's Blythe accidentally glitching out because he fell off that tower from a big fight of a bear. So his dialogue will actually change to reflect that a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yep. He's like, who goes there? Hey, Kaylee seemed you? And then it'll reset the dialogue, but you don't get anything about the snap. Because you didn't snap, we're skipping that dialogue option. Because I tried snapping, but he didn't come down. But what did bring him down was a bear destroying the tower he was in.
That's hilarious.
Because I gotta get used to the environment destruction in this game being so good.
Yeah, it's really good. There's only been like once or twice where I've seen it floating, but it's very, very minimal.
Yeah, I haven't seen it floating in my place, but I haven't been looking that hard for it.
But I only came across it by accident because it was when I was farming those like Viking looking knights, and there's that one not that far from the first bandit camp that everyone farms at in Limgrave.
Oh, you keep on the ones that are on horseback with the giant curved swords.
Yeah, the one that's on the same road as where the Knight Rider spawns.
Yeah, the Cadens. Yes.
Yeah, where I was farming right there, he ran because there's that brick road with those little brick walls. Those brick walls can be destroyed. And he like ran through one of them, and it was that little brick wall right there for the bridge, or like the walkway or whatever. There was like a brick floating. It wasn't huge. It was just like a tiny brick, and the only reason I noticed it is because I was literally walking past it, and I was like, "Well, that looks funny." That's the only reason I noticed it. But yeah, I haven't noticed anything like hugely major.
The one time for me was early on with Jake when we were trying to kill my tree sentinel for the first time. Because it was in the barrage of me running back and forth and resummoning Jake once the aggro would unlock.
Mm-hmm.
He'll chase you all the way to the Church of Elish and nearly killed Kale.
Oh Jesus!
The guy came in, chased me. I jumped a wall to avoid his hit, and he swung, hits Kale, destroys the wall. Kale gets
Oh,
buried
shit.
under debris for a moment, and then the debris despawns.
Kale's like, please buy something. I need to pay my bills now.
I gotta go see a doctor. Could you buy some runes? I need runes for runes, buddy.
Oh god.
Oh, goodness. But, yeah. I think some exploration on Radagon would be good because we get some red herrings with him.
Yeah.
Sure, we've got marriage to depressed mom.
Yeah.
We like depressed mom. The thing that
What?
fucks me up the most about depressed mom, and we'll talk about it a lot more when we get to depressed mom, but depressed mom doesn't even have a phase 2. That's not depressed mom.
The thing that's really funny though is, you know what's a really huge slap in the face for when Radagon left her? Is when he gave her that little amber egg thing with the rune inside of it.
Yep.
After he left her.
Yep.
So it's like, hey, I'm the new Elden Lord. Hey, ex-wife, here's a goodbye present.
I never.
And she cherished it.
I know
in
I was
front of
gonna
his
give you more
statue.
babies, but it's fine. You can have as many babies as you want.
It's scary that she cradles that egg in front of a statue of him.
Yeah, it was like
That-
that conversation we had before rehearsal a few weeks back, where I mentioned that it's a parallel between Kos and
Yeah, the Orphan of Kaz.
no, I was gonna stop and then say Cosm. Ooh.
Okay, Mikalash.
But yes, it's a parallel because it's a mother cradling her unborn. The
Yeah.
only difference is the miscarriage isn't attacking you with his razor-bladed umbilical cord that looks like a blood gem.
Yeah, that fucking scared the piss out of me every single time I went to go fight him. Which is funny because I forget who found out about it, but apparently the Orphan of Kaz's scream is literally just Garmin's scream but higher pitched.
Yeah. Convenient.
It's just like, hey, sound bites. I need to reuse them.
Yep, if there's anyone who can recycle content well, it's From Software.
It's kind of like the sex noises in the actual Hunter's Workshop.
Oh, yeah.
Those noises are literally the lady from down in the streets when she's laughing. It's literally just her when she goes, oh, yes. It's literally just that on repeat, but it's that exact same soundbite.
Yeah.
Which is... Really,
I love playful distortion.
yeah, that's
Not to go back into David Lynch, but he does that a lot when you deal with the Red Room. People talk backwards, but then they re-reverse it so it makes sense loosely.
Yeah, that the whole making sounds and voices and shit go backwards has been a thing that's been around God knows how long. Honestly, the thing that I find the most hilarious about it in terms of history was in the 70s during the Satanic Panic. When you had fucking parents taking like Led Zeppelin and Judas Priest and they were taking records and scratching them backwards and they said they swear to God they heard devil chanting when it's literally just fucking gibberish.
Yeah, just backwards words. It just scared people who do go booga booga.
Yeah, because if you take anything in reverse words, it's going to sound otherworldly. That's the fucking point. That's why movie makers do it.
My favorite one is Wooly was explaining how you can make the reverb for Devil May Cry. Because when he was little, he was obsessed with it. So what he did is he sat down, he recorded him saying words, and then he reversed it, put reverb on it, and then reset it. The reverb would remain backwards, so you would get the Devil May Cry.
Huh.
And it's just like a very cool thing. Like, I kept that mental recipe in my head brain in case I ever get to go, oh, I could just say something cool.
So that's probably how they do echoes in movies and stuff.
Yeah, if it has a solid reverb to it and you want it to have that splaring sound like Devil May Cry does, that's what you want to do. You reverse the reverb and then you re-restore the audio.
Oh, man. I really wish I could get into voice acting roles. Like, I don't have a very good vocal range, but I would love to give it a try.
Mm. Well, I mean, I am planning on practicing some reading for books. That guardsman guide, I think, would be a fun one to do because I want to try, in between things we'll do for stop motion, I'm planning on doing, the read-throughs, but in a, interesting format. I know I've referenced Oculus Imperia to you, that guy I like to listen to a ton.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I like about his soundscape is whenever he does audio recordings, he's not talking into a void or a back, or just, playing generic music behind him. What makes Oculus always good and very soothing is he has soft Gregorian chanting and singing behind him.
Yeah.
It creates that environment that would be very interesting, and I'd like to do that for the Guardsman.
Yeah, there's a good couple of audiobooks that do that. I mentioned the one BBC reading for Shadow of Rinsmith. The guy does different voices for different characters, and he also has really ambient music in the background, and it's really good.
By the way, I want to know who said, hey, let's have derpy-ass gargoyles. But by the way, derpy-ass gargoyles do bleed.
Yeah, they do bleed, and you can summon them.
Yeah, and they're a really good summon because early game, they eat shit up. They eat shit up like a lawnmower.
I know, you used them for God knows how long.
They were very helpful.
Yeah, and I remember I tried using the wolves for a while, and then I was like, no, and then I was like, you know what, skeletons.
Skeletons are also fantastic summons.
Yeah, because as long as they don't get double hit, they can fully reanimate, they get their full health back.
Yeah, so they just become long-lived summons. I mean, I'm a Mimic Tier man. I mostly do Mimic Tier since I'm like 356 at the time of this recording. Like, this is 2 new game cycles ago, so when I'm still a placenta.
Yeah, the recording on this video was back before you weren't even at the capital yet.
Oh, I was not. Again, I haven't even fought Godric still.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, we're baby. Because when I went to go fight Godric, I think I was like level 40 or 50.
Oh jeez.
I came in and it was not that bad. Yep, and there's me trying to use the traps. And too many bleedy boys. Stay back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised, considering they're like a mob enemy in the catacombs, and that's just something you have to get used to. It's just a bunch of slashy fucks.
God.
Just look at all that blood loss.
Yeah, the fact that their animations are literally just the reused asset of those fucking little...
Thieves.
Yeah, the fucking imp thieves from DS3.
Yep, they're just thralls. That's the word for them, thralls.
Right. There's only one... The only good thrall is Grey Rat.
Yeah, Grey Rat's our boy.
Yeah, Grey Rat's nice. He's sympathetic, he's cool.
He's one of the other few times Patches has genuinely cared about another person.
Really? Because when I was playing DS3 last, Pat just called him a piece of shit.
That's because he likes him, Brandon.
Oh.
If you don't save Sigurd from the fucking hole that Patches froze him in, as long as Patches has the Onion Knight armor, he will save Grey Rat.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because Patches admires the shit out of Grey Rat from stealing from the rich.
Oh, so you're telling me you could save Grey Rat, but you could lose Sigurd.
Nope, you can still save Sigurd afterward as long as you don't kill another unkindled lord. Like, as long as you don't kill the Abyss Watchers, you can still save Sigurd.
Or what if you start a new game and you still kept the Onion Knight armor? Could you not? You won't have to buy it from Patches, but you can still give it to Sigurd.
Yeah, you can still do that.
Does that work, or does that break the game?
Oh, it still does it. It'll still work it.
Okay, so you can save Grey Rat and Sigurd.
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. There's a
yeah,
way
I do
around
that all the time.
Oh God, okay. Because I like Sigurd, but I like Grey Rat too.
Yep, I like both because both do net you a serious gain. Like, when you max out Grey Rat, that's when you get all your different ammunition types, because every time Grey Rat leaves, he comes back with some serious shit.
Yeah, there's always a fucking merchant that sells you something once you give him crap.
Oh god, these fucking Grey Wardens are so cool. I love fucking big-ass gladiator men. They were so cool. Like, when he threw off his cape, I went, "Aw, shit!"
Yeah.
Is this the new Fumarian descendant? Am I about to deal with some Chalice Dungeon madmen?
Power Paw!
Yeah, and he chokeslammed me later on, and it was rad. I still let him do it every now and again because I like it. Also, this is my one of the earlier dungeons where I go, oh, the trees use corpses.
Yep.
Ah, fuel the dead because the dead stay alive forever if they're given to the tree. The tree, pretty.
God, that shit.
Okay, well, thank you for your time, Dick. Bye now, Sir Pepper.